Welcome back to the Midwest Coven Cast. Last week you listened to the first half of our conversation on music. This week is the second half of that conversation. We hope you enjoy it. We talked a little bit earlier about sort of how mental health plays into our, musical preferences and things like that. But what are we thinking about, say, like spirituality? Do you use music in like a spiritual sort of way at all?
Well, so I have a sound bowl, which I don't bring out very often, but I find that like when I'm at my wit's end and I'm about to lose my shit and like say like me and Trevor joke around like I'm gonna go to the store and buy some cigarettes, I'll be back later. Like,
oh my god,
I'm at that limit.
Corey and I have that same exact, well, not maybe the same exact thing, but we have this inside joke that's I'm gonna go get some cigarettes. Have you guys ever heard of Bill Burr, a stand-up comedian?
I've heard of him, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm talking also, but Sam and Trevor, is that where your guys' stems from, or no?
It might be where he originally got it from, but you know me and pop culture. I don't know people who said what.
You should ask Trevor if this is where he got the reference from. So the way that me and Corey have our reference is, I'm going to go get some cigarettes, is basically like Bill Burr as a stand-up comedian on one of his bits. He basically refers to the fact that sometimes couples get to their wit's end, and so like, a guy might say, oh, I'm just going to go to the store to get cigarettes and just leave the wife and children behind forever. Like, anyways, so me and him sometimes will joke around like, yep, I'm going to just go get some cigarettes.
So it's just sort of the trope of
but
like,
then mine,
it's like a...
He went to go get cigarettes and never came
Daddy
back.
never came back.
Exactly. But then mine to him. But what's so funny back is that mine to him I got from SNL, because there's this chick on there that goes on Weekend Update and she like jokes around about how she's going to leave her husband and just go to her sister's. So like I always just joke around with Corey and whenever we're like kind of going through a joking point where like when we forgive each other and we're back to normal, we're like, I'm just going to go to my sister's. So anyways, I joke around with him that I'm going to my sister's. Like, he jokes around with me, he's going to go get cigarettes and
go get cigarettes.
Yeah.
When it's time for me to go get cigarettes, that's usually when I break out like my sound bowl and I'll just like sit down on the floor, crisscross applesauce, and I'll just play my sound bowl. And
I need a sound bowl in my life, apparently.
You know what's also very effective, because the sound bowl is like this sort of like soothing, consistent sort of sound. That's
and
like,
your heart starts to beat towards the, like, it calms your heartbeat down when it's racing. Like, the pulse of, and like when you're feeling, for me anyways, when I'm feeling like, I have it in my palm. I don't put it, like, it comes with a cushion that you can like play it on, but like I hold it in my palm. And I feel the vibration of the humming of the,
Well, I think that they talk about... Oh, sorry, Marilyn, go ahead. Oh.
No, you go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I was just going to relate to the fact that, like, they do recommend sometimes, like, when people are doing the, when they're doing the meditation and stuff, it's to get your body to literally, like, be in the vibration of different sounds.
This is literally what I was going to say, actually.
Sorry.
When I told you no, that's okay.
We're on the same
sometimes like when my anxiety gets like super high, like if I'm alone, I will like in the house just be like,
girl, I do it
just,
too
like, hold
sometimes
it as long as I can.
Nobody knows.
It's kind of the same as screaming into a pillow, right? That's not the same.
It's just kind of, for me, I mean, we all do that too, I'm sure, on occasion when we have to, but whatever, we don't talk about those things. No, but anyways, like, for me, the whole umming thing at home too is similar to Marilyn's. It's like, it's just releasing my breath, it's just kind of calming me, relaxing me, and it's like, I don't know what it is about when you're by yourself and you do things that are not normal, but you feel almost like...
But maybe they are more normal than
maybe we're all just doing it in secret.
So, Susie, you and I both kind of do an thing.
Yeah.
And then, Sam, you do your
not
bowl.
often.
You do that.
Which is kind of the same idea.
Well, and I also really like just going outside and listening to the sounds of nature. Like the leaves rustling in the trees and the chirping of the birds and the crickets and the, like, that sounds super, like...
I'm all cool with
pagan.
That until I get a woodpecker on the side of my house while I'm trying to sleep.
Oh, I'm so with you.
To be your neighbor, and I'm pretty sure woodpeckers might be protected.
See, honestly, I was gonna say I have one of those, and it sucks because it's like in the middle of the day sometimes when I'm trying to sleep. It's like,
Yeah. Because you and I have weird sleep schedules. And so
Yeah.
we're usually sleeping during the day, or at least more during the day than your everyday folk.
See, but mine's not by choice, girl. Yours kind of is.
Well,
in all
I
fairness.
just go by my natural rhythm.
I mean,
yours is
true.
more
That is
forced because
fair.
of work, but
That is
I
fair.
don't sleep I probably sleep less than your average person, honestly.
Yeah.
I do too. Like, I honestly only go like 5-6 hours most of the time because I'll go upstairs to go to sleep generally around 2, and then usually takes me a while to fall asleep, and then I'm supposed to get up around like 8:45, but sometimes I wake up before my freaking alarm, and it's like, okay, well, this is.
Well, it's weird because you have like you're not nocturnal like most.
Yeah, I think
So,
naturally
or, like,
I'm
you don't
not
sleep
like not that badly anyways. Like I am, like I like to stay up late and I'm a night owl, but like not to the point where I like to stay up all night until 6-7 in the morning. Like, yeah.
Well, I don't
Like I have to now.
I think so. Recently, I have been like sometimes going to like 6, 7, 8 in the morning, which I think is quasi stress / anxiety induced because when I'm usually my more natural rhythm, like in years past, like and for decades, was like I would go to bed at like more naturally, like maybe 3, maybe 4.
That's so late.
It is really late.
Yeah, no, that's honestly kind of
But,
me
like,
too, though. Like
recently,
3-4
I've just
is
been
usually
having
my
trouble sleeping
tipping
in
point.
general.
Or used to
I feel
be.
like I've always tired out really easily, so I go to bed at like 9:30 maybe.
Damn, girl.
That's your natural rhythm, and you have kids too. So,
Yeah.
That's actually good when you're on a kid rhythm because
That's interesting that we all have sort of like a similar way that we sort of use sound or music.
Tone our vibrations.
Well,
in.
Yeah.
really.
I wonder
ahead,
if that's
sorry.
kind of why we relate to music in some ways anyways, because like, sometimes like the tones of it or just the sound will like resonate
hook you.
with you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like one thing, I'm so sorry, I'm gonna interject again, but like basically, one of the things that I have found when it comes to like the spirituality piece tying to music, tying to vibrations of sounds, is the fact that like I've noticed a lot of religions tend to like pray or chant or sing together, and I really believe in the sound of like when people can all come together with their voices. I really like that, but then I also
Sort of
really
the power of
like when I hear
collectivism in sound form.
what's that?
Well, I've been. Oh, sorry.
I did not
no,
hear
that
what
was
you
all-
said,
that was
Marilyn.
it.
I'm so
Okay.
sorry.
She just said like the sound of the like collective makes it sound.
Oh yeah, I said the sound of collectivism in music form.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chanting and a cappella and like.
Well, so
Yes.
that like I've been listening to a new Spotify channel called Witchy Music, and like they have a lot of like the chanting, and it's empowering to listen to and like hear the
Ooh.
unison in their voice and like the
You said it's called witchy
gusto.
music?
Yeah, Witchy Music.
I want
And
to check
it's-
that out.
I don't think it's like a by Spotify playlist, but it's on Spotify. And
Yeah.
Worth
Well,
checking
you had
out.
it on the other day when I was doing helping you with your makeup
Yeah.
and stuff. And it was really good. And it reminded me of this channel that I listen to sometimes. Well, it's a website / I follow them on Twitter. But it's called the Pagan Business Network, or PBN. And they have like a radio station attached to it where they play pagan music, which
that's cool.
Yeah.
And it's like free public radio.
yeah, so you can go to it's paganbusinessnetwork.com and you can access their radio shows there. And then you can follow them on Twitter too. It's Pagan Business Network, but because of like the limits on characters, it's PGNBSNNTWRK.
Nice.
So-
And we can link that below. And
Yeah, we can send that along to people for sure.
I don't know if I've ever heard
um,
pagan music before, or the witchy shit chants.
It's touch
so.
and miss for me. Like some of it, I'm just like, this is like amazing, and like others of it, I'm just kind of like, meh. But that's kind of like most music, right?
yeah.
That's fair.
Well, there's
I mean,
some of it that like sometimes like I'll really try and listen to what they're chanting, and then I finally understand what they're saying. And like most of the time it's stuff that's like, yeah, I get into this, and then sometimes it's like, whoa, that's what they're saying. What?
what am I listening
Like,
to? Shit.
And I've been chanting this like along with them, but like kind of only saying the words I understand, like I do most of the time when I sing along with it.
I was gonna say that's what, yeah.
You mean those aren't the lyrics? Oh.
Oh, misheard lyrics. Me and Marilyn could go on. What is that one? The Vaseline? Oh, God, that was terrible.
So, okay, I mentioned Queen Herbie earlier, and so she used to be part of a duo with her husband called Carmen, and so they had an album came out several years ago. There's a song on it called, I think, Gasoline.
Yes.
And it's like,
I did not know this at the time.
You bring the fire,
I did not know the name.
Gasoline. And so she was like, you bring the what? And I'll bring the Vaseline? I was like, what?
Well, me and Meryl were in the car, yeah, and I was like hearing it for the first time, and I had never I didn't know the name of the song. I didn't know the lyrics, obviously, and yeah, basically all I heard, I thought, was I'll bring the something something and you'll bring the Vaseline. And I'm like, whoa, what are we listening to, Marilyn? And then she clarified.
What am I doing with that tub of Vaseline?
Yeah,
which is really impressively, it's really appropriate for Susie.
She loves her Vaseline.
Yes, Aunt Bev will tell you all about when I was a little girl, I had a purse, and for some reason...
Very small purse, mind you.
Yeah, it's a fairly
one of those,
small.
mud purses or something.
Yes, by mud.
Yeah.
And I, for some reason at the time, I was licking my lips, and I had one of those red rings around my lips, you know, that you get when you're a kid.
Like chapped lips when
yeah,
you're a kid.
It was like chapped lips around your lips. Like, it was bad. But anyway, so I used to put Vaseline on it. Well, Mom had this big old, you know, like the normal size jars that you keep in your closet at home. Yeah. I decided to go ahead and put that in my purse, and I carried that big old thing of Vaseline around in my purse for my lips.
That was basically all that fit in that purse.
Yeah.
It was so big. And the purse so
To
small.
be fair, that the teeny tiny bottles of Vaseline are like a newer thing.
Yes,
I'm
true.
sure they had smaller ones, like in the baby aisle, maybe. Those,
Yeah, or maybe
They
like a
definitely had
squeeze one. Or I could have settled for anything else probably than that, but whatever.
Some chapstick.
Yeah, settle for something else that's in a travel size, girl. But I was like, nope, that Vaseline works the best. I'm going to take that with me everywhere I go.
If it works, it works.
That's right.
Do what you gotta do, girl.
Although, I don't really carry a purse, but usually when I do have a bag, like one of the kids' bags or like my laptop bag, like you should see the things that I bring with me on an average day.
That mom life, man, you got to be prepared for all the things.
What's in my bag can be like a future episode.
We should do that. That would be really
that'd be
fun.
so fun. I'm like you, though. I don't really carry a purse.
I don't carry a purse either. Now that Marilyn gave me her hand-me-down phone. Yeah, Marilyn gave me a hand-me-down phone with the wallet on the back of it, and that's my life now.
Yeah.
But anyways, so yeah. We should probably...
Steve and I listen to some pagan music. Susie, I don't know if you do or not.
I don't, actually, but I would definitely like to check it out and see what you guys are, talking about, because it sounds interesting.
Some of it's really good, I like. I think. I like.
Like?
Words and stuff today. Like?
Totally.
Well, one thing that I also listen to that is not, it's spiritual, but it's not like pagan. It's actually kind of, I feel, more on a Christian side, is Down to the River to Pray by Alison Krauss. Have you guys ever heard that song?
I like that song.
Oh my God, it's so powerful. I love it. Like, there's something about that song that it gives me chills every time. And yes.
I think there's a lot of really pretty spiritual music that's not pagan. Like more of the Christian based faith and things like that.
That is true.
Like
I have
heard. Church. I forget who that's by, but that's one I can just drive around in my car and sing that one. And
I don't know if I've heard that one. Who's it by?
I used to love listening to K-Love too, like just K-Love
They
radio.
do have some awesome songs on there that I
that's a Christian radio.
I used to work with a lady, and we used to be in charge of our radio station at the dollar store because it was just a mom and pop shop. And Melody, one of the ladies that I worked with, she was super religious. And every time that she would work, she would always put it on K-Love. And I had never heard that music before, but I would hear some of the most beautiful songs. And I literally now on my iTunes have a playlist for that type of music. Because I just kept hearing so many songs, I kept, I'm going to download that one. Yep, I'm going to download that one. So I might link a couple that I resonated with down below. I can't think of what they are right now because, again, I don't listen to them regularly, but they were beautiful songs, I remember. But yeah.
So, speaking of songs, What are some of your favorite songs? Are they by your favorite artists, or are they kind of like one-offs?
Not always.
What do you think?
Who wants to take the floor on this one first? Because I think we all probably...
Yeah, you're already talking, girl. Go for
it. Sorry.
Go for
I'm always talking, girl. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'll just say, one of my favorite songs, because I was talking about how I really like Michael Jackson. Well, one of my favorite songs... Exactly, right? Like, he's like a Fleetwood Mac type of thing we were talking about. So, one of my favorite songs of his, though, is Man in the Mirror. And one of the particular lyrics that I feel I relate to the most, or I resonate with the most, is that obviously is the main lyric. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. I feel that is just so true. I think that's how people, you know.
I feel like a lot more people need to listen to that.
Exactly. Like, and honestly, and what's sad, though, is if the rumors about him are true, obviously, then I don't necessarily support his lifestyle. But as an artist, all of his music, they have some very good truth to some of his lyrics and stuff. Like, well, and also just really quickly, the other song of his that I really love is called We Are the World. And I sang this song in that Fine Arts Academy as a choir the first time, and I didn't even know it was a Michael Jackson song. And the lyrics that I resonated the most with that one were, we are the world, we are the children, we are the ones who make a brighter place, so let's start giving. There's a choice we're making, we're saving our own lives. It's true, we'll make a better day, just you and me. And it's very true about the future.
Yeah, I really like that. It reminds me, so right now, one of my favorite songs is by formerly the Dixie Chicks, but now the Chicks. They came out with a new album recently, and one of the
That's who the Chicks are. I didn't know that used to be Dixie Chicks. Okay.
So the Chicks are formerly known as the Dixie Chicks.
Yes.
But one of the songs on their new albums is called March March. And, like, it's very political, so just keep that in mind for our listeners. But there's, like, the first time I heard this song was the day that it came out. And just from the very moment it started, I could just feel it down in my bones, and they just started doing the lyrics, and they just, like, were so freaking relatable to me. And, like, expressing concerns that I've had and whatever. As you both know, I am a long-time political junkie.
Yes.
Like, I've been interested in politics and things like that for 20 years. And so, like, kind of seeing, I'm not going to get super into politics right now, but, like, just sort of seeing what's going on in the world has been very distressing to me.
And music
by interview last night with Barbara Walters.
It wasn't. It was like Leslie
or
something. But yes,
but it was the
60 Minutes.
Yeah, 60 Minutes, and it was.
I did not see it. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I won't share them right now. But yeah. So the lyrics, once they started really getting into like the verses of it. There's this section that kind of reminds me of what Susie was saying, except for a little bit different. But the lyrics of this are standing with Emma and our sons and daughters, helping our youth, oh God, I'm messing it up. I think it's like standing with Emma and our sons and daughters, watching our youth have to solve our problems. And it just like, I just like fucking lost it. And I'm just losing it right now.
It's okay.
It resonated so much, you know, and
that's how songs
like,
I feel are great,
I was,
though.
Like, blustery the whole time after that, and still bluster up when I listen to it, or just say the words
when you talk about it. Yeah,
it's all good. Like
some music does that to you. Yeah. Like
I feel the best music, the most felt music, does that. It penetrates to your heart, and it makes you feel emotion, and it makes you express how you're feeling with that same type of emotion. 100%. Like that's I don't know. I feel like that's why people create music. The artists that create music, it's because they want to convey their feelings. And I feel like that's why any artist creates anything that they want. You know what I mean? Like even us creating this podcast, it's something, you know, we want to at least involve people that have like ideas.
Talk about my favorite song.
Thank you for making me feel so not so.
I almost cried when I said my
Well, because the two favorite songs that I really wanted to bring up of mine, one of them I already kind of mentioned was Leviathan. Yeah. And so, like, I mean, if you listen to the song, it's not really like, we didn't really name him after the song. It's not really child appropriate, but like, like Leviathan is also like this mythical sea creature, and like it was supposed to be a water birth, didn't end up being one. I didn't make it into the pool, but like it was so like it meant like the meaning with the water.
You started
and, like,
in the bathtub though, right?
I labored in the bathtub for a while, yeah.
It's still, I mean, relatable to the water situation then, to a point.
Yeah. But it got to the point where, like, I just didn't want to be in the bathtub when I had him, and I knew that I was going to have him soon, so, like, I got out. Anyways, that's a whole different story. I don't want to get into it.
Sorry.
But yeah,
back
he
to
wasn't a
Leviathan.
water birth. He was a land birth, as they say.
but he still is named Leviathan nonetheless.
Yeah, so like, and we love him, and we call him Levi for short, but like, so that's one of my main favorite songs right now. And then the other one is a Bumpin' Ugly song called This Is Ours, and it's like their love song, like him and his wife, like and that's like what the song is about.
The name of the song is
like
deep.
This Is Ours, and it was played like Trevor has it on one of his playlists, and it started playing one day when he was in the kitchen. See, I'm crying now. And he was dancing with Levi, and like me and Dylan went in there to dance with him, and the song was playing, and our whole family was together, and it was just one of those moments, and I started crying then, and now I'm crying talking about it. So
oh, that's okay. But like you said, like music just, it means so much to people, and we put a lot of meaning into it, and we can relate to it on certain levels, you know what I mean?
Well, girl, I'm crying.
It brings us together. And
I was crying. I was saying, I was crying, so I couldn't say what I wanted to say, but it totally relates to her. So me, Corey, and Kelly had a moment like that, where we were all in the kitchen, and I don't remember what song was on. That's the only downfall, is I don't remember the song, but the song that I always relate to with her is Sweet Child of Mine. Obviously, I'm sure a ton of people relate that to their kid, but I don't know. There's just something about that song, and then I always go back to that moment, that same moment that you guys had in the kitchen. Me, her, and him had that dancing moment in the kitchen. And when you feel your family that closely like that, there's something just super special about it. And then, like you said, with a title like that, in a moment like that, that's just super special to have happened. So, like, you know,
like, just from my, like, trauma background, like, it's really hard for me to accept love from other people. Like, and in that moment, I just felt so loved, and like how much love was in that room at that moment, and like for me to actually feel it, and like my walls to be down, and like that's a rare moment for me. So
one you'll never forget.
I'm so happy you had that moment. I'm happy you both had those moments. So obviously,
something about kids, man. I'm sure Marilyn, honestly, that's one of the things, like Marilyn, I don't know, I'm sure that you've had some of those moments, like when Nugget is wrapping her finger around, or her hand around your finger, and she's sleeping in your arms, and she feels so loved, you know what I mean? Like, anyways.
All this talking about the kids is gonna make my boobs start leaking.
Right? Yeah, we gotta be careful.
Oh, man. She's going to get her some paper towels.
Just in case.
Yeah, you know, she doesn't leak too much.
My eyes were already leaking.
You're leaking from everywhere. But yeah, so obviously music kind of brings out these like really strong emotions and whatever. And like, I think one of the reasons I like music too is there is some music that isn't necessarily even sad, but I really like strong, empowering sort of songs too. Which is like totally counter to my like, I like sappy love songs. Which it was kind of like March was kind of that for me in some ways. Like, yes, it made me emotional, but it also made me feel like not so alone. Like other people were feeling sort of this general dis-ease with, or unease rather, with what was going on in the world, and sort of seeing things the way that I saw them, and like that was very like affirming. Yeah. And felt just like I wasn't that so you weren't alone. Yeah, and like there are others too where just like the lyrics are just like so empowering. I tend towards like strong female artists, and Sarah Bareilles I think is one of those, and why I like feel so like attached to her. And I really like when she gets into lyrics about like strong women, or like the song Armor for me. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but it just like, it gets to me too, but in that like, I can feel the power in it, and I can feel the sort of recognition of like strong women, and like there's like lyrics from that particular song, and one of my favorite pieces of it, it's I see the unforgettable, incredible ones who came before me, brought poetry, brought science, sowed quiet seeds of self-reliance, bloomed in me, so here I am. You think I am high and mighty, mister? Wait till you meet my little sister. So it's just sort of like this idea of like women passing on ideas and like self-reliance, and like, you know, just sort of this idea of sisterhood to me, that I just like that set of lyrics within that song. Like, I mean, the whole song in general is like amazing, but just that like one piece, like it gets to me every time I hear it, because I could just like, coming from like a strongly matriarchal sort of family, like our mom, or at least my mom, and then like grandma, and like they run the show, man. And they, you know, they're just like, they're strong and wise and kind women, and like when I see that sort of out in the world, or like other people who have experienced that, like I just can relate to it so much, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, not gonna lie, when I first read these lyrics, I was very offended. I was like, wait a second, you think I'm high and mighty? Wait till you meet my little sister. Like, wait a second, you think I'm high and mighty?
Like men, and like the patriarchy kind of rejects like feminine power.
Yeah.
Like,
right. They view us
high and mighty, mister. Wait until you see my little sister after we've taught her to be self-reliant. And,
right. Like, wait till your next generation of women come around, and you can't handle that.
Being high and mighty is sort of like an insult that men over the many decades and centuries of humanhood, is that a thing? No.
Have kind of directed toward women that stand up for themselves.
Yeah, but like that's sort of it. Being high and mighty, it kind of is like a sort of insult leveraged against people, but she's sort of flipping it, I think, in these lyrics, saying, you think I'm high and mighty, you just wait. You know,
right? Like, oh, we're coming.
Yeah.
Well, see, it was so funny because when I was on here,
patriarchy.
When I read that earlier, I was like actually putting a side note on there, because I was like, oh man, am I gonna get like offended and like gets offensive in this podcast? Like, because I was worried, because I didn't notice like what you meant, or what those lyrics out of context meant. So I was just kind of like, oh no, she thinks I'm high and mighty. Like, oh no, what do I do to make her think that? Like,
it wasn't leveraged against you personally. And also, like I said, it was sort of a flipping of that kind of trope, and saying, well, you might think that, but you just wait until I teach the next generation, or my little sister.
It's like everyone's
even
waking
more than
up.
I know.
Yeah.
Right.
And wait till you know.
You know what pisses me off about that, though, is that it takes generations for things to change like that. Like, why can't the change be now? Why do we have to wait?
It is too bad.
Well,
it's almost
backlash.
like there's, yes, exactly. Like, there's just so many people that are so set in their ways that are not able to, like, see things in a different way, obviously, and they're just like going to backlash any sort of change that anyone tries to make happen. But
well, you can see that through like so many like social movements.
We can tear down walls
right?
little
like,
bits at a time.
The women's movement, like after they achieve something, there's always like this social like backlash against it. There's like this book called. There's like this book. It's like.
Oh my gosh.
Like us on Twitter. Like us on Facebook.
Like us. Yeah, sorry.
There is this book called There's this book called Backlash by Susan Faludi, and it sort of documents the ways in which over time and how women's movements have always been sort of met with backlash. And so it's kind of this, it's not a natural or linear progression towards progress. It's more of an up and down or a roller coaster, right? It's like these back and forths. Like you're going to have these highs where you make some progress, and then, you know, you're going to have this conservative sort of backlash to it that sort of comes in its wake, and it's going to sort of bring you back a little bit. Usually you don't go as far back as you were before, but it's still like this like total push and pull. So it's interesting, and you'll notice that with like other social movements too, like
any suppressed group of people that
So Faluti's work is more about the women's movement, but obviously those kind of backlashes, like even like the social rights movement among like African Americans and stuff like that in the U.S. and all that, it's kind of the same,
right?
You see the same sort of patterns. So,
but again, those things go back to like people that are feeling emotions that are connecting them to the songs that they're feeling. Like,
well, a lot of these social movements, even like there is music that is born of them. You know what I mean? There's a lot of music that's like inherently political.
Well, like you're talking about the March song. I'm sure that has a lot to do with.
Well, even the album that Armor came on, so the Sarah Bareilles song that I just quoted, that is more or less from a concept album that was sort of born of, sort of living through what we're living through right now in America. So,
which is sad. What we're living through.
Yeah. But I would definitely recommend that album to you guys. It's called Amidst the Chaos. And there's just like,
as soon as you said that you listened to it as often as you did, I literally went and looked it up. I'm like, oh, I'm going to look that one up.
It's really good. And I would recommend like listening to the album, I think, because there's like a lot of common themes and like whatever throughout it. So, I mean, there might be some songs that you do or don't resonate with, obviously.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, me and you always kind of hit and miss.
I would recommend like the album. What about you guys? What are some other songs or lyrics that you guys really resonate with?
Well, for when I was listening to Bumpin' Uglies for the first time, the song that actually made me like look into other songs of theirs was a song called Serving. And like the lyric is that troubled souls are the only ones I know, and I wouldn't take it any other way. And I'm so sorry if you can't relate. So
I
like
love that.
And I don't know, I liked that. I like broken people, so I was like, oh, and like
I feel like everyone is like in some way, shape, or form, but it's when you can find the broken people that are vulnerable to share their brokenness and help others heal with them. It's like, I don't know. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. My bad.
No, you're totally fine. But yeah, so that was one that I jotted down. And then Joint Operation, one of their favorite songs, one of my favorite songs of theirs is SFF, which is straightforward focused. And the lyric is, success is measured by the strength of your desire, not the car you drive, guitar you play, the makeup your attire. And then even though jealousy is in my blood, I stay straightforward focused just because, and then it goes into like the whole
nice.
But like, I don't know. I'm a very like focused in like, if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna find a way to do it type of person. So
no, I like that. I feel like that's a very good way to be in life.
Yeah.
Like remember how I'm always talking about calm down and focus? Maybe that's what I need to start seeing.
Yeah, you should listen to that song.
Yes, I'm thinking like.
What about you, Susan? Any other songs that you relate to?
One of them I love is Rob Thomas, Little Wonders. And one of the lyrics that I relate to, because I have to tell this to myself sometimes, is let it go, let it roll right off your shoulder. Don't you know, the hardest part is over. Let it in. Let your clarity divine you in the end. We will only just remember how it feels. I just always...
I like that.
Yeah, I always have loved that. I don't know what it is, but that whole song is just... love it. But then, so sorry, I have like kind of a spiel. I don't mean to like go into it, but there are like four other songs that I have written down if you guys are interested. I think two of them you guys will totally relate to, and then two other ones are my Elvis ones, so we don't really have to get into those ones if we don't want to. But the two that I really want to bring up are Hallelujah. I feel like everyone... I
love that song.
Yeah. I get chills.
It depends on which version, though.
True.
Like, there's some...
Yeah, they don't hit home for me on certain versions. I agree. But there are some classic versions of that song. And what was the one that you introduced me to, Marilyn? It was an a cappella group.
Oh, probably Pentatonics, I'm guessing.
Yes. Their version gets me every time, too. I got chills right now. Like, yes. Hallelujah gets me every time. Chills. One of the lyrics that stands out to me the most, I think, is called, well, baby, I've been here before. I've seen this room. I've walked this floor. I used to live alone before I knew ya. And I've seen your flag on the marble arch, and love is not a victory march. It is a cold and it is a broken hallelujah. I just, not going to do it. But anyways, there I go again with my emotions, my apes. But okay, another song that I actually really like, and it's just kind of the whole song, is that John Lennon song. Oh God, about the world. Oh my gosh, why don't I have it written down? It's John Lennon. I remember that. Imagine all the people. Imagine. That's. I mean, I know it's kind of whatever cliche song, but I do kind of like.
It's a good song.
Yeah, I like it. But no, and then two of my favorite Elvis lyrics / songs are "Always on My Mind." It says, "You were always on my mind. Maybe I didn't treat you quite as good as I should have. Maybe I didn't love you quite as often as I could have. Maybe I didn't hold you all those lonely, lonely times. And I guess I never told you. I'm so happy that you're mine." I feel like there are so many people in our lives that we want to say that to, and we, sometimes we don't have the time, or sometimes we don't have the whatever. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're all getting so emotional.
Yeah, like songs do that for me. I don't know what it is.
So
the birthday boy's over here too, by the way. A little 6-month boy.
Yeah, I heard him a little bit in the background. Yeah. A little squishy boy. I love to squish him. Okay, the last thing I'm going to add to this subject, and then I am completely done. Not completely. I'm still going to add my little tidbits. Come on. But anyways, the last Elvis song, or one of my favorite Elvis songs, is "Can't Help Falling in Love with You." Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you. I don't know, something about that song. When Elvis sings it, it gets me emotional. But anyways, I'm saying it in a way that I'm not trying to get emotional about it, so I'm not gonna cry. But that's also an emotional one. Yes. All right.
So, Sam, do you have any other ones that you want to add, or
Well, the only other song that I have in mind that I wanted to mention is every morning when me and Levi wake up, I sing "You Are My Sunshine" to him. So
Aww.
that's our little morning moment before we go and wake Dylan up. But
that's so cute. I love that.
Yeah.
That's so cute. I can relate though, when I have Nugget with me, which, by the way, to our listeners, that's Susie's daughter.
Yes.
But we have the little songs that I make up. I mean, mine are a little more weird and whatever, and mostly made up.
They excite her though. She loves it every time you sing them. Yes.
Yeah. Well, 'cause she'll start dancing and she smiles.
She starts jumping and she'll start moving her whole body yeah.
Oh, you guys need to be done with quarantine.
I know.
Next week.
Quarantine.
Ugh.
So, I think that if anything else, we've learned that we relate to music. I mean, I think we sort of already knew this to a certain degree, but we really do relate to music in very similar ways.
Very emotional ways.
Very emotional.
Yeah, but I think it's funny how each of us has our own set of people that we listen to, and for our own sets of reasons and what it does for us and stuff. But yet, yeah, like you said, in the end, it's all about connecting to our emotions.
Mm-hmm.
My fridge has made an appearance, y'all. It sounds terrible. Oh my gosh. Anyway.
Do we have a sponsor this week that maybe could help us get a new fridge?
There we go.
Well, maybe.
But no,
we gotta do our predictions first, though.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, we gotta, Okay.
So, what do we want to try and... Do we just have, our own predictions? What do you think?
I had one prepared, but it's a lame one. I was going to say that I'll be back next week live, but I'm not even going to do that one. I'm going to think of something different.
Okay, so do you have something, Sam? She's looking very...
Okay.
No.
So wait. What is today? Today
Today is the 26th.
Yeah, so Halloween would happen in between this episode and our next episode.
Yes.
Like real life time.
Right.
Not airing
Recording
episode
time, not airing time.
Yeah. So I'm going to guess that I'm going to get at least 3 motherfuckers to not be quarantining and ring my doorbell. Like, there's going to be at least three families that I'm going to have to be that person
Get the
that
fuck
goes
off
and
of my
yells people
porch.
to get off my lawn. Go home.
6 foot distance. I thought about honestly taking caution tape and just like caution taping off the whole yard. Like,
But
no.
see, then they'll think you're an attraction.
Yeah, I guess that's maybe true.
They'll be like, oh, they decorated for Halloween.
Right? Well, yeah.
So what's your production, Susie? Do you have one?
I haven't thought of one yet. Hold on. You have one, Marilyn?
No, I was hoping.
I knew it. Well, I kind of was thinking to myself, okay, so at work, I'm kind of in the middle of a transition where I might be off of work, but I'm not 100% sure how that's going to go. So I'm going to make a prediction based on that. I predict that, so my boss and I had already previously talked about me being done at the end of October, but I have a prediction that I'm probably going to add another week onto that. Mm-hmm. Just a thought, just a prediction. So I'm probably not going to be done until the first week of November is my prediction. Then I will
predict that I want to keep something like Halloween / Samhain related. So I think I am going to predict that I will watch at least 2 Halloween and or horror movies in quasi celebration this week.
Girl, I would love to watch some Hocus Pocus.
I was just thinking that.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it's on Disney Plus and stuff. So
We watched it the other day. I think it was on Disney.
I need to get back into those accounts, actually, because it logged me out.
Oh, yeah. I had to change password.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But yeah.
But, yeah. So I'm going to predict 2 Halloween movies. So who's our sponsor this week?
Do your band camp because this is music, girl.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Okay, so this week is sponsored by my own personal band camp.
Yes. Where can they find it at? What's your...
So you can find me on Bandcamp under Marilyn Marin. It's MarilynMarin.bandcamp.com. And I have 2 songs up there. And hopefully before this goes live, if I'm feeling wily, maybe I'll record and put a 3rd one up there for babies. Oh, we have babies.
Yeah, he says yes.
Babies. Looking for boobs.
I was going to say, he's agreeing with Marilyn. He's saying, yes, you're going to do it. You're going to put a 3rd song.
Go to her band camp. Huh?
Yeah.
Listen to some music. But yeah, if I'm feeling a little wily, maybe this week I'll finally finish mixing a couple of songs that I have almost done.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Inspiration to do stuff.
Yes. So yes, sponsor this week, MarilynMarin.bandcamp.com, where you can get my own personal music. Because as I've said before, every teacher has a side hustle, baby.
Multiple side hustles.
Every person has a side hustle these days.
Multiple sources of income.
Okay, so thank you so much for listening, Coven. We hope that you will join us next time. And until then, blessed be.
Blessed be.
We hope you enjoyed part 2 of our music episode.
Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode and leave us a review below.
You can also join our coven by following us on social media at Midwest Coven on Twitter and at Midwest Coven Cast on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
You can also find us at MidwestCovenCast.com. Until next time, blessed be.